listening to the Art of Homeschooling podcast, where we help parents cultivate creativity and connection at home. I'm your host, Jean Miller, and here on this podcast, you'll find stories and inspiration to bring you the confidence you need to make homeschooling work for your family. Let's begin. Hello, and welcome to the podcast. This week, I want to share with you a great quote that I've had on a refrigerator magnet through all of our years of homeschooling. And here it is. Peace. It does not mean to be in a place where there is no noise, trouble, or hard work. It means to be in the midst of those things and still be calm in your heart. This quote about being calm in the midst of it all has gotten me through a lot of days of homeschooling. I remember one morning, I started our circle time for my two boys. I was just a mama of two at that point. Our daughter wasn't born yet. And I started off with the song, "Let's make a circle like the sun." And both boys, they showed up in the living room. We all joined hands. But then, as I began to sing through a second round, the boys looked at each other with this glint in their eyes. Do you know that look? It's that split-second clue that I would sometimes catch, indicating things were just about to go off the rails. And they started singing as loud as they could, like at the top of their lungs, out of sync with me, like on purpose. I tried regrouping by starting a marching verse. Brave and true will I be, but to no avail. No such luck, more giggles, and then they began jostling each other and just totally acting up. My final attempt was to toss them each a beanbag. But that backfired too, as they began throwing the beanbags at each other and running around the living room. So I grabbed the beanbags from each of them, tossed them into their basket a little forcefully, and then promptly left the room. Now, I would often go into our kitchen to calm down. Our back door, we have a long, narrow kitchen called a railroad kitchen. And our back door looks out into the woods behind our garage. Now, the woods, it's really maybe just 6 trees, I would guess. But it's a very soothing view, taking in our garden and then some of the tall pine trees beyond. But that day, before I even got to the back door, I noticed my eye glanced over at the little magnet with the quote on it stuck to the front of the refrigerator. And I stopped there to read it. Peace. It does not mean to be in a place where there is no noise, trouble, or hard work. It means to be in the midst of those things and still be calm in your heart. I remember thinking, oh, okay, I can do that. It's funny because I realized there are so many layers to this quote for me. First of all, is the belief that I should be able to control the noise and the trouble around me, to be able to calm the chaos. The belief that if I only plan the perfect homeschooling day with just the right rhythm and activities, that there won't be any trouble. There won't be any noise or chaos or hard work. I wonder where that idea even comes from, because believe me, There is challenge sometimes in family life. There are ups and downs, as we all know, and unexpected things crop up here and there as well. Even now, as I record this episode, family life has been quite full this week. Our youngest, our daughter, is packing up all of her belongings and moving into her first apartment out of state. My husband, Brian, just completed his 16th annual bike ride from Cleveland to Cincinnati last weekend. Yes, it's a very long ride, 280 miles. Plus, it's the week of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. And this week, we've had lots of holiday celebrations. And then in the midst of all of that, I got the news that my mother's only sibling, my Aunt Madge, passed away. So Brian and I are heading out of town tomorrow to attend a celebration of her life. That's been our week here at the Miller household. But here's the thing. I think what I've learned through so many years of homeschooling and what I want to share with you today is that we can still be present and experience peace no matter what is going on around us. That was a huge realization for me because for some reason, I thought as a mother and as a homeschooling parent, I believed that if I was doing it right, if I planned it just right and carried out the lessons just right, that there would be no children acting out, no unpleasant surprises, and no trouble. I did think I really believed that. For me, the realization that wasn't my job, right, to control things, that realization started with acknowledging that we can't control it all. It's not even possible. And it's a misplaced goal, I think, because our goal is not to try to avoid the chaos or the trouble or the hard work, or to try to even control it. Our goal is to just be present with all that comes our way, to hang in there and stay present, rather than getting hung up on regrets about the past or fretting about what's to come in the future. The power of our presence will bring us peace. So that is the honest truth. I've come to learn that through all these years of being with children and helping children learn and grow. And sometimes I wish I'd known that from the get-go, right? Or that I at least had learned it a little bit earlier on in our homeschooling journey, so that I could have been more present in the midst of everything and still feel calm in my heart. That's what I truly wish for you today, that no matter where you are on your homeschooling journey, I want you to know that life can look messy sometimes. There are so many ways, though, for us to get quiet and drop into the present moment. For me, I like to plan little check-ins with myself throughout the day to see if I'm remembering to stay out of regret and anticipation and just stay right here, right now. If you want to hear more about how other homeschooling moms do this, check out episode 20 of the podcast, Conversations with Moms Who Love Inner Work. Because inner work, that practice of getting still and quiet and really connecting with our inner strength and our inner core, our inner being, that's something that can really help us stay present. So you can check out that episode 20 over at artofhomeschooling.com/episode 20. All right, keep this in mind. We're all just human beings having a human experience here. But no matter what, peace is available to you. So remember, The power of your presence will bring you peace. Thanks so much for listening. And you can find the show notes for this episode, including a photograph of that refrigerator magnet with the peace quote on it. You can find all of that over at artofhomeschooling.com/episode 49. That's all for today, my friend. But here's what I want you to remember. Rather than perfection, let's focus on connection. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Art of Homeschooling podcast.